Welcome to the Shootin' Show. Stand by for shots fired.
Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shootin' Show, and welcome to today's program. We're very fortunate we have a very fine young lady who is going to be shooting with us today. And you know, friends, we're always talking on the program. And by the way, this is Michelle Davison, and she is a young person that is interested in politics. She's interested in a career, and she's also interested in learning to safely and properly shoot firearms. So we're very pleased to have you here with us today, Michelle. You know, you've heard me say so many times that we have to get these women involved. One, they find out that shooting can be fun. It's a great way, a great recreation, but it can also be a skill they can learn that may be instrumental in literally saving their lives or the lives of their families. So we're going to let Michelle open our program today with this Colt Sporter. This is, of course, one of the older guns. Of course, somebody already got to it. I guess they sawed the bayonet lug off this one, and like I said last week, we'll all sleep better tonight knowing there are no bayonet lugs. And you know, that's one thing that is so ridiculous. And that's another reason we've got to get these women involved, because we need the women to understand, or more of the women, because a lot of them do, understand our case, our point as gun owners. And we need them to understand how to use these things so they won't be afraid of them, and to vote with us. We need the women's vote desperately if we're going to retain our rights with firearms, or for that matter, any of the rest of our freedoms. We have got to make efforts to get these women with those of us who enjoy firearms. So, Michelle, would you like to open today's show?
Absolutely.
Well, good. I think you'll be able to handle this just fine. Good.
Whoa!
Well, friends, we're very pleased to have Michelle on the range today. We met Michelle through a good friend of ours who works some down at the judge's office, and we're very pleased you could be with us today.
Thank you.
Well, again, we need to let these ladies know. Now, one, Michelle, you're about what, 5'5"?
5'3".
5'3", okay. And you are a feminine. You're very ladylike, certainly. And this is something that these ladies need to know. You don't have to be an Amazon type woman, and there's nothing wrong with you ladies that may be Amazon type women, but you don't have to be learning to shoot a gun. And of course, I thought you've done very well with the Colt Sporter, which of course the civilian model of the AR-15. You've done very well, and that would be a good, so you could handle that gun for home defense.
Oh, I loved it.
And of course, one of the best shooters, not just woman or women shooters in the country, is none other than Mrs. Jerry Michulik, better known as Kay Clark Michulik. And she's one of the finest shooters I've ever seen, man or woman, whatever else. So you don't have to have massive biceps or be a bodybuilder to learn to shoot a handgun or a rifle well. And I think you're a good example of that. One, we've learned, Michelle hasn't done a lot of shooting in the past, but today on the range, she has really showed great enthusiasm. It's fun, isn't it?
It's a great time.
It's fun. And this is what normally happens when we get some of these ladies down on the range and shooting. That's normally the first thing, with proper eye protection and proper hearing protection. As you've heard me say many times, there's no need to come down to the range and have anything get hurt. You don't need your hearing damaged. You don't need from flying brass or from anything else. You don't need your eyesight. That's one thing we have to work at. We don't want to get hurt anywhere. And as long as we handle these guns safely with the proper ammunition, with the proper eye protection, ear protection, you're not going to get hurt. And it's going to be a very pleasant and enjoyable sport. It's going to be a great time for everyone who comes, as long as you observe those safety rules. Now, Michelle, this is a Smith & Wesson. I believe this was a 581, so 357 Magnum. And why did you initially, because you haven't done a lot of shooting, why did you initially take an interest in learning to use this handgun?
Mostly for self-protection, because you've really got to be able to defend yourself and take care of yourself out there, because you can't always have someone with you.
That's really true. Your fiance or your father or your brother or someone else, a girlfriend, whoever, may not be able to be with you all the time. Now, Michelle works. She's also a student. And here in Louisiana, you can legally carry a gun in your car you can obtain a concealed carry permit here in Louisiana. This state, along with a number of others, and this is becoming more and more popular, concealed carry permits, and I think it's a great thing for anyone, and certainly for the ladies, because you can legally carry a gun without getting any sort of trouble with the police. And when that moment of encounter or assault comes, you probably will be by yourself. So we think it is so important, and you know, it's just like, and I've said this before on the program, I'm considerably larger than you as an individual. If you're not a karate expert, are you? Not no. Well, there's a good chance that someone who is much larger, or even a strong man, if you got in a wrestling match, you might not, since you are a normal woman, you may not have as good a chance. You may get on the wrong end of the deal there. But you know, with this handgun, I don't care how big he or it is, if you can shoot this handgun, you can protect yourself. You can take care of yourself. Well, one other thing I want to mention, Michelle is, although she is a young person, she's very active politically. And what are your political views yourself?
I basically make myself sufficient. I have to get to the line for those who know what they are.
Well, I think you've said a lot there. We need to be responsible for our own actions. And, you know, I think that a lot of younger people are starting to share your viewpoint. I think so.
I hope so.
Well, and certainly you're going to influence a lot of people you talk to, people that you know. And we're very pleased about that. And the more, it's not just young men, but the more young women that we can get involved in conservative politics. And, you know, conservative is really preserving our way of life as Americans, preserving our rights to opportunities, our rights to succeed, our rights to be safe in our homes, our rights to be free of government intervention or some other intervention, so we can live our lives to the fullest and best extent. Well, Michelle, let's do a little shooting. How about that?
Love it.
All right, one of the first things we're going to do, we know this gun is unloaded. And you've shot it some, but what you want is sort of a refresher course. You want to be familiarized. All right, well, let's do a little basic drill here. We're going to dry fire this gun. We checked and double checked, and you know me, I will even triple check them to be sure they're empty. So you're right-handed, am I correct? All right, well, let's take this gun from your right hand. And remember, we don't ever touch that trigger until we're ready to shoot. Now then, Michelle, hold the gun out and get a sight picture like so. We're going to this arm is going to be fairly straight, and we're going to get our offhand there pulling back. We're going to push with our right hand and arm. We're going to pull back, bring around just a little bit. There you go. Pull back. We won't touch that trigger. Now, you see that front sight in our rear sight groove. You see that? All right? Now, touch the trigger. Put your finger on the trigger and pull it through. Don't jerk it. Pull it. Just pull it all the way through smoothly. Now then, Michelle, your posture's good. You're not all bent over. You want to stand up pretty much straight like so. A comfortable stance. You've got your front sight there. All right? Pull the trigger. Pull it straight. Good. And your front sight didn't move. Good. All right, well, let's load our gun. Put on our earmuffs. And let's shoot at the top. Michelle, we've loaded this 581 is a .357 Magnum revolver. But for training purposes and for a lot of women, the 38 Special may be a better choice. And that's one reason we recommend a .357 Magnum, because 38 Specials will fit in this gun. They're much lower pressure. You have a lot less noise and recoil. And that gives the shooter, especially a new shooter, an opportunity to work up to more powerful ammunition. So that's certainly one advantage the .357 Magnum has. You can go way up in power once you get used to shooting the gun. You can start off with very light load and go up to literally the ground shaker. So what we're going to do is load it, Michelle's revolver. And that's another reason that I like revolvers for new shooters, because you can open that cylinder and see whether or not it's loaded. And it's easy. You can put the bullets in one by one, and they're just simpler mechanisms for the average person than a semi-automatic. Michelle, step up here to the line. going to do the same drill. We won't touch the trigger till we're ready to shoot. Hands in place. Now then, Michelle, what we're going to do, put that front sight in the center of that big ring. All right? It's not going to hurt you. You have your eye and ear protection in place. Put your finger on the trigger. Pull it through. Good. And it's a good hit. Go ahead and do it again. Good. Go ahead. You're fine. Not so sharp. Well, absolutely. As you can see, that all 6 are first shot were in fact within the circle. Michelle, that's real good. That's a good start. Because with this sort of accuracy, what we need to do is work with you on just speed, where you can do it real quick. But see, that is very fine accuracy for self-defense. This is very fine. And, you know, friends, these women find out that it's really not difficult. If you bring them out with a gun and ammunition that they can handle well, it's easy to get them started on the right path.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
Friends, all of us at Shooting Enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything to shoot. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Shotgun News, Post Office Box 669, Hastings, Nebraska, zip code 68902, the phone number, area 402-463-4589, MasterCard or Visa for subscriptions only. Now call them at 1-800-345-6923.
Friends, we're bringing Michelle along, and she's really doing well, as most women do. Women are, as you've heard me say before, women are the easiest people on the range to teach, because men seem to think that, and I'm a fan of Clint Eastwood and Arnold Schwarzenegger too, but a lot of men equate somehow their manhood being in connection with their ability to use a firearm. Well, it's just not so. It's a learned skill. Nobody is a born shooter. Well, I'm sure that the doctors and the mother would be if the child was born with a gun in her hand, there'd be a whole lot the National Enquirer would go crazy for years over that. It's just not so. It's a learned skill. Now, some people have better motor functions and better eye-hand coordination than others, but it's not something that we're born just knowing how to do. It's not so. It's not like the liberal press would have us believe. It's just not true. So women are by far the easiest students, because they're not hung up because they don't have a manhood to worry about. They're women, okay. And typically a lot of women work in offices. They have good skills with their fingers. They've been typing, or at home. Most women still prepare meals at home. They're used to working around sharp knives, around can openers, around things. So again, women are really the easiest students. So Michelle, we're going to shoot 2 different targets here. So if you would, just turn around, and we're going to try this first without live ammunition. So let's take a shot at 2 targets.
Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, friends, it's rare in any field of manufacture that one particular company has a clear-cut advantage over the others. Well, in this case, it's Corbin Ammunition, Corbin Bullet Company, because they make the best handgun, long gun, and even some specialty caliber ammunition that's been real hard to get in the past. If you really want your handgun or rifle to perform at their absolute best, you need to find some Corbin ammunition. For information on where you can get Corbon, information on their product line, call them. Corbon Bullet Company, 1-800-626-7266. Again, give them a call. It's a free call, 1-800-626-7266. Trust me on this one. Corbon is the best there is.
Go ahead. All right, now let's speed it up a little bit. Let's take a quicker shot. Quick. Good. All right, try it again. Okay. Now, friends, it's important when you're down here on the range, you need to do some dry firing to get the actual feel of the mechanism to become familiar with it. So now we're going to put some live ammunition in Michelle's gun. And you know, bring out the cylinder like so. Put a couple of bullets in. Now then, Michelle, let's do the same drill that you just did, but this time with live ammunition. Go ahead. Get ready? Put it. Good. 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 Now take the gun. And 2 good hits in the circle. That's good. So let's do it once more. I'm not Barney Fifing you now. I'm giving you 2 bullets instead of 1. Let's do it again, but let's do it a little faster this time. Same drill, a little faster. Go ahead. Good. Okay, now we went for a little more speed. Her accuracy wasn't quite as good on the second shot, but it was still pretty good. That's good. The more we get out here and practice, the faster you can become. Now, you know, friends, we're going to move even closer to the target, and there's nothing wrong with being up close to your target, or at least at closer ranges, because most altercations, most of the time, when you will need to use your weapon, you may be close to the adversary or to your attacker. So don't be afraid to go up close and shoot, as well as the further distances. It's really important. The main thing, you need to become mechanically familiar with your gun. You need to be able to hit your target, and you need to safely develop some speed at it. So the next drill we're going to do, Michelle, you're going to shoot both these targets. You're going to shoot one here, one there, back here, and once over here again. So let's do that. We reloaded your gun. You got your hearing protection on. Good. Proper stance. All right, go for it. One first. Go ahead. Good. Good. Now then, Michelle still had her hit. One was out of the circle, 2 in over here, but still good shooting, because she is not someone who has spent a lot of time on the range, and for this sort of drill is really your first time to do this sort of thing, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, trust me on this one. She has made remarkable progress, like a lot of the ladies watching. And Michelle, after you've been out here shooting this afternoon, of course we saw you shoot the rifle, or you're certainly a competent as far as your basic shooting skills, and I think you could be really good if you spend just a little time at it. You have something you'd like to say to the ladies there?
Well, basically, just don't think that you can't do it because you're a female. With a little practice, a little effort, this is really a fun and exciting sport. And you don't have to be a vicious person. You don't have to be mean or cruel. This is exciting.
You can still like
fun.
animals.
Absolutely. You can still love animals. You can still love people. You can still be a wonderful, loving person, very feminine, very gentle, and it's just fun. It's a good way to release your aggressions here.
Well, that's what so many women do find out. We get them out here in the field and familiarize them with these guns, and that's what they say, they are fun. So, Michelle, thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you again, and I know a lot of the ladies out here have enjoyed watching you as you're progressing, as you are learning more about shooting your handgun.
More and more often, women are faced with protecting themselves and their homes. But another way of protection is through information. And we at the Shootin' Show believe that the New American Magazine has the best information that you can possibly get.
You can get the New American by calling 1-800-727-TRUE-TRUE. And those numbers, of course, are 1-800-727-8783. The New American, $22 for a 6-month subscription. It comes twice a month. Friends, you need this magazine if you want to know what's going on. And in times like this, we need both of these. We need our guns, and we darn sure need our information. Well, friends, we hope you're enjoying our program today. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Tell you what, Judge, I really enjoyed the piece there with Michelle because she typifies a lot of young women who are active and do things. She's still a lady and feminine. But let me tell you, she was really an enthusiastic shooter. I was impressed.
Well, that's what we need, Johnny. We need to get the ladies on our side because we're dealing only with 50% of the population, maybe a little less than 50% of the population when we're dealing with men. And I don't know what the ratio is. It's pretty near even.
No, sir, can I say, dealing with women, we're never even. No, they're always.
You're talking about dealing with them, yeah.
Well, let me also mention, we're going to be at the Friends of the NRA banquet on February 16 in Bossier City, Louisiana, at the Civic Center, 5:30 in the afternoon, and we'll be there presiding, you and I, sir, and we look for everyone who can come in our area, wherever. That's going to be a great time by all. Sir, I think you have some things to cover.
Yes, I do. For those of you who have fax machines, you can keep up with the very latest in what's happening in firearms, and there is a lot happening, by getting on the NRA ILA, that's National Rifle Association Institute for Legislative Action, on their network. And all you got to do is ask them to put you on it. Their phone number is 1-800-392-8683. Let me repeat that. 1-800-392-8683. They send these faxes out at least once a week. This one is dated 1/27 of 95. That's like a couple of days ago. They started off by quoting the President in the State of the Union message when he said, quote, "I would never do anything to infringe on the right to keep and bear arms." Bill Clinton, January 24th, 1995. Now, can you believe he said something like that? Can you really believe he said it? Well, he made it clear he'd veto any gun ban repeal legislation that reaches his desk. Well, there's a simple answer to that. Real simple answer to it. Attach the legislation to something that he feels like he's got to have. Now, he wants to bail out Mexico. Now, frankly, I'm a little bit dubious about bailing out Mexico. But at least if we've got to do something like that, let's get something that we like in it. So I'd attach a repeal of the gun ban to the bill to bail out Mexico. Now, that'll send Clinton into orbit because he feels like he's got to have one, and he'd have to choose between them. And if he went ahead and vetoed it, then so be it. He couldn't very well fuss about not getting the bailout to Mexico.
Good idea, though. Excellent idea.
Oh yeah, I think it's. I'm sure it's not original. I thought it up, as far as I'm concerned, but I'm sure that there are other people who have thought about that. I hope some of them are in Congress. We have these faxes that come in, and they give you a very broad view of what is going on in connection with firearms and gun legislation, even going down to looking at the particular states. The legislatures in Arkansas, California, Minnesota, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, Wyoming, are all in session right now. And it tells you what is pending before them and how it's coming out. For example, in Wyoming, 2 NRA-supported pro-gun bills passed out of the state Senate and are on the way to the House. One of them is state preemption of firearms laws. That keeps all of the towns and counties from getting particular laws. These laws got to be uniform throughout the state. And shooting range protection. Now, we've got that in Louisiana, too. We've got a provision for protection of shooting ranges. And in Virginia, we managed to get some bills referred to a favorable committee. Now, you know, the way legislatures work, a lot depends on what committee it goes to, because if the committee decides to kill it, it takes a major effort, a Herculean effort, to ever get it out of that committee, to ever bring it up on the floor. Well, anyhow, this particular fax from NRA told us what was happening in Arkansas, California, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Nebraska, Virginia, Wyoming. Somewhere in there there's something about Utah too, but it's not in capitals, so I can't seem to find it. Let's get that fax number again, 1-800-392-8683. Now, that's a regular number, and you can ask them to put you on their fax network. And I think they'll probably do it. At the SHOT Show, I saw Tanya Mataska, and I gave her a hard time over not answering me in the past. I think from now on she'll know who I am.
I would imagine that she'll probably remember you, sir, when you call a fax up there.
Well, now, Gun Owners of America have a fax network too, and they're just as good as NRA in their fax network. And let me give you their phone number. Now, they don't have an 800 number. Gun Owners of America are not as wealthy a group as NRA.
But they do a tremendous amount
Oh,
of
they're
good.
fantastic.
Yes.
They're fantastic. Their number is 703. That's area code 703. That's Virginia. 321-8585. Let's do that again. Area code 703-321-8585. They will put you on their fax network, and I get a fax about once a week, maybe twice a week from them, and about the same length, about the same frequency from NRA. Now, let's take a look at the difference in these two faxes. The Republican, the Gun Owners of America, just stand up and say it. Big capital letters. Republican leadership has given us the shaft. Time to hold their feet to the fire on semi-auto ban repeal by Gun Owners of America. Now, here's what they are saying. That the Republican leadership, while they are in favor of repealing the gun ban, that they don't want to attach it to the crime bill. Well, that's fine. Don't attach it to the crime bill. Attach it to the bailout of Mexico. That suits me even better. The leadership wants the repeal to come up as a standalone bill, not as an amendment to the crime bill. Well, that's fine. It'll pass the House. It will not stand up to a Senate filibuster. And the Senate may very well filibuster that. Now, if you want the Republican leadership to really know that you're there, as you have before November 8th, then there are people that you can contact. It's the voice of the people. It is letting people know, letting your legislators know what you want. Now, all of these people that I'm about to give you are national leaders of the Republican Party. So they ought to hear from you whether you're from their state or not. For example, in the House, we have Newt Greenwich, the Speaker of the House. His telephone number is 202. All of these are area code 202, because that's Washington, D.C. 202-225-4501. That's his regular number, and he's got a fax of 225-4656. The Majority Leader, Dick Armey, fantastic man. His number is 225-7772, and a fax number of 225-7614. Let's get those again, then. I guess the regular telephone numbers are the best ones to have. 225-4501 for Newt Greenwich, and Dick Armey, 225-7772. Now, the Majority Whip, Tom DeLay. He's another one to lay your word on. That's 225-5951. 225-5951. And, of course, another one that's very, very important is the Crime Committee subcommittee chairman. He's a congressman from Florida. I've seen him on TV, and he's excellent. But you need to stay after him and talk to him. Call his office, and that number is 225-2176. Now, for those of you who have fax machines, and it's really, in a way, cheaper to send a fax because you know it gets there, and you know that presumably if the congressman has a fax machine, he's going to read his faxes, hopefully. Make it brief, make it to the point, but let him know where you stand. Before November 8th, Bob Dole had so many faxes he had to get another number. He left that number in operation, but he couldn't use his fax machine because there were too many faxes coming in.
Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
This is the famous Thunder 5 revolver shooting the .45 Colt cartridge, also the .410 shotgun shell. It's also available in .45-70 and includes some caliber inserts that are optional. And let's get that snake. For information on the Thunder 5, call 1-800-654-0797. Again, that's 1-800-654-0797.
Tri-tote's real easy to use because all you have is a hook on your waist and you have another hook on a strap. Okay, so all you do is you're hanging your gun up like you would on a peg gun rack. There's never anything attached to your equipment when you use the tri-tote. Okay, you just set the gun with one hook behind the trigger guard and the other hook on the barrel. To use it, you just push in towards your chest, pick the gun up to shoot it. Basically, you got 7 different positions anywhere you want to range the barrel of the gun by just taking it off. It's a piece of Velcro strap onto a Velcro shoulder pad. You just put the gun into it, pick it up and shoot it any way you want. I know a lot of people like to walk around with their gun over their wrist. In this position, tucked up under your arm, it's real comfortable, except it breaks your wrist. Set the gun with the hook in front of the trigger guard, and you got the same position, except your hands free always. And what you want to do is you can take your trigger finger right at the trigger guard, pick the gun right up off the pod, and then you got it ready to shoot. Okay? The other position that you have is when you set the butt of the gun right on the hook on the side, and you can just hold your gun for field shooting in this manner, or you can just rest it back on your shoulder, shrug your shoulder, hit the gun, catch it, and the gun comes up. It's that simple to use. A lot of people like to go out riding on their four-wheeler and their ATV or climb into their deer stand or drag their deer. You got a securing strap that just peels back. All you do is set it on the barrel of the gun, wrap the barrel up, and you have a little securing loop down here on the pod. Okay, you take that and you secure that right over the hook of the gun, so you're securing the top and the bottom. You can ride your four-wheeler, you can climb your tree stand in this manner. If you'd like to pull out your deer, you can open your waist belt up, drop your right hand down through your straps, bring your left hand back up through it. The gun immediately goes on your back. Buckle it up. Take away any of that slack. You don't want that. Just readjust it. Pull it up tight on your back, and that's the most secure back carry you'll ever have. You can drag your deer out any way you want to drag your deer out. Climb your hands, use your binoculars, you're always hands-free with the tri-tote.
Now then, friends, for information or to order one of the all-season tri-totes, call them at 1-800-231-1443. MasterCard or Visa, $38.50 plus $6.50 shipping and handling. This is a special price for our Shootin' Show audience, so please identify to them that it is, you did see it on the Shootin' Show. This is an excellent piece of equipment a lot of us would like to have, friends. 1-800-231-1443.
These folks here. What about our man, a good shot for president, our man over here in Texas, who is a good candidate?
You talking about Phil Graham?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Phil's my choice. Phil's my choice. I used to think that Jack Kemp was the best man, but Phil
Kemp
Graham
said today he's not going to do it, I think.
Phil Graham is by far the most conservative candidate that's spoken out so far. He's got the money. He's raising the money to make the race. He told me personally he was going to run for president, and I'd be delighted to help him get there.
Well, don't you think he'd be a much better choice for us as gun owners, certainly, than Bob Dole would be?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely better than Bob Dole. Bob Dole blows with the wind. I don't believe that's true of Phil Graham. I think Phil Graham has a set of principles. He has a set of ideas. I think he's real. I'm not saying you couldn't convince him if he felt like he was holding on to a very unpopular position. But frankly, I think you'd have a hard time convincing him because Phil Graham has principles.
Well, and speaking of that particular race, we just hope that Clinton doesn't resign, and let's get him out with the vote, because here's Al Gore behind Clinton, and someone said the other day Al Gore is actually more popular than Clinton, and if nothing else, Bill Clinton has served, one, to show us, one, at least Clinton's blatant about it. Most of the time they've had so many fiascos, it has helped to awaken our general population. Don't you agree with that to some degree?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think also there's an inborn reluctance, as proven in the Lyndon Johnson-Barry Goldwater race some years ago, for the public to want to get 3 presidents in a period of 2 years. Mm-hmm. So the word is that Clinton is a candidate for re-election, and as Harry Truman put it, you can't defeat an incumbent president for his party's nomination. You got too much control over the party apparatus.
Well, I felt like the only person who really come out against him might be Hillary. Just my thinking. I don't know. I think that's just my opinion that Hillary would be much more inclined to want to be president. Just my opinion.
Well, I think she'd like to be, but I don't think the country's ready to elect her.
I hope not.
But seriously, it was gun owners that furnished the margin of victory for the Republicans.
Absolutely.
And proven by the vote down in South Texas, where a long-time Democrat who was a cinch for re-election was defeated by Steve Stockman. Steve Stockman, who defeated Jack Brooks. I frankly think that Teddy Kennedy would have been defeated if he had a candidate who had a distinct ideological difference with him. I don't think we would have been any better with Romney than we were with Kennedy, and Kennedy remains a nice symbol to talk about and run against.
Well, you know, a lot of things are going on right now, and I think that what we saw this past fall has been, of course, you've heard us talk about it every week. You know, now there's a conference of governors, and, you know, Janet Reno is suing Pete Wilson, the governor of California, right now, because, and Wilson is suing the U.S. government back over a dispute on the 10th Amendment. Those powers not delegated to the federal government shall be reserved for the states or the people. Am I correct on that?
That's absolutely correct, and I think that the 10th Amendment is getting national attention now, as opposed to years ago when it just seemed to be a Southern cry about states' rights. I think everybody now is crying about states' rights, and there's no doubt in my mind that the 10th Amendment has been ignored through the years. It's been ignored so much and so long and so many times, and so many unfunded mandates have been put on the states that lo and behold, finally we've gotten some other people working for the man. Got another one too that came in the other day, and I don't have a copy of that fact with me. It came from Gun Owners of America. We've got another very serious threat. A very serious threat because the Environmental Protection Agency has proposed that we ban lead in bullets. This gets down to...
Now, this is serious.
No, sure it's serious, because if they ban lead in bullets, it means what? What are you going to use for bullets? I just as soon have depleted uranium, but that's not going to happen.
No, and one, it would be whatever material, be it brass, whatever, it would be so expensive. Even the bismuth combination that's being used some now for shotgun shots, it's not the same thing. It's just another way. See, friends, we keep saying we can't let up now. These people will not go away. They have to be defeated over and over and over again. These people literally want to take these guns and everything that goes bang away from us.
Well, I think they've about come to the conclusion that they're not going to ban guns in this session of Congress. So, if the Environmental Protection Agency can ban lead in bullets, I don't know what they're going to do with a case of 22 ammunition. That's all of it. But this is something that we need to get away from. And there's a simple answer to that, too. Cut off the funding to the Environmental Protection Agency, or reduce their funding. Now, I grant you that environmental protection has some purposes and has some valid, reasonable purposes. But just like the old expression, power tends to corrupt, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think that's what's happening with the Environmental Protection Agency. They have too much power, and they have just gotten headstrong with that power. And, of course, under Clinton, they know perfectly well that Clinton wants to ban firearms. And one of the ways of doing it is fix it where we haven't got any bullets. Well, then if they ban lead in bullets, and we ended up with none but jacketed bullets, then they'd be screaming and we had cop killer bullets. You can't win for losing.
So they've got to be defeated. We've got to get on the phones and call those congressmen, write those letters.
At the same time that you get on the phones or faxes about these same people, tell them to eat the Environmental Protection Agency up. Just eat them up. Cut off their funding, or at least seriously reduce their funding. I want to give you all those numbers again. The NRA, 1-800-392-8683. Gun Owners of America, 703, area code 321-8585. Incidentally, Gun Owners of America has got a special deal for those of you who watch the shooting show. They will take your membership instead of their regular $25 a year membership. What is it?
$10 with our gun club.
$10 a year with our gun club membership, and we need to have you do that. Steve Stockman, who defeated Jack Brooks, said he couldn't have done it without Gun Owners of America. He could not have done it. Republican leadership. Newt Greenwich, telephone number 202-225-4501. I think that's Clinton. I think Clinton's the engineer on that train. Majority Leader Dick Arney, 225-7772. Majority Whip Tom DeLay, 225-5951. And the Crime Subcommittee Chairman Bill McCollum from Florida, 225-2176. Let these people know where you stand. And we need to get the gun ban repealed, and you only do it by attaching it to something that Clinton feels like he's got to have. And I can't think of one he thinks he's got to have any more than the bailout of Mexico. And most of the politicians seem to be in favor of that, although I think most of the public is more or less against it. If it's going to pass, and let's get a benefit out of it.
And we need to stop the lead ban from the EPA.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Ben Chapman, is it Then Representative Chapman from Texas has joined forces with Representative Bartlett of Maryland and Stockman of Texas to introduce their bill as an amendment to the crime bill. We need the Republican leadership to not block their attempt. It may now be known as the Bartlett-Chapman-Stockman bill. It's a tougher bill than the original Chapman bill. And we need your help. That's what you can do. Just because November 8th, several months ago, doesn't mean that we don't have a message and a job to do. So we need you. And ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota, you'll have to excuse me. I'm very active in political matters, as you might have guessed by this time. And I realize that that is where the focus is. You've got to handle the politics of it if you intend to get the things that you want, or stop the things that you don't want. It's all a political matter. Good, sir.
Shootin' Show will be right back after this break with the local cable company or TV station.
Hello, friends. I'm out here practicing for one of the most fun hunting sports that you can imagine. You can use a variety of action types. You have access to year-round hunting, in some cases no limits, and you get to use a variety of guns. And you know what I'm talking about is the sport of varmint hunting. And we need to introduce you folks to varmint hunting. A lot of us have been doing it for years and didn't know what to call it, but we especially need to introduce you to the Varmint Hunter magazine.
You know, friends, varmint hunting is one of the fastest growing shooting sports in the world. In fact, the Varmint Hunters Association, they have members in all 50 states and 19 foreign countries. Now, their magazine focuses on varmint hunting and super accurate reloading and shooting techniques. Plus, there's a lot of humor, a lot of interesting cartoons and humorous articles in the magazine. Incidentally, the magazine is large, very high quality, and something I think you're really going to enjoy reading, and it's published quarterly. It's only $24 for associate membership in the Varmint Hunters Association. Look, information, now you ought to do this. If you're a dedicated shooter, this is something I think you're really going to enjoy. For information on the Varmint Hunter magazine, Varmint Hunters Association, call them at 1-800-528-4868. Again, 1-800-528-4868. Be sure and tell them you saw it on the Shootin' Show. Friends, you can communicate with the Shootin' Show on CompuServe. Now, our number is 735-42-3024. Again, 735-42-3024. And to join our Shootin' Show Gun Club, call us at 1-800-895-7916. We take Visa, MasterCard, check, money order, whatever you got. Join today, friends. We need to reach as many people as we can.
Now, friends, we're going to take a look at a rifle today that in our part of the country we don't see that often. This is a Remington Model 760. It's chambered in .30-06 Springfield, and if you'll notice, it looks very, very similar to a rifle that is very familiar to most of us as hunters. This is the 742 Remington, which has since been upgraded into another number there, 7400 or whatever it is, the semi-automatic gas-operated Remington high-powered rifle, hunting-type rifle. And the 742, which a lot of us have had for many years, is really proved itself to be a good, a durable, reliable design to shoot. It's an accurate gun. These guns typically do not shoot as well as, say, a bolt-action Remington of the same persuasion, but they're still, 2-inch guns, 5 shots at 100 yards. Most of them are. Some of them will do better than that. Well, also, the 760, and you'll notice how similar, in fact, they do look. The 760 is a pump-action gun. It is almost identical in every respect, just looking at the two guns, to the 742 semi-automatic. It has the same stock. It has the same receiver shape. The difference is, rather than having a gas or have gas from the fired cartridge work the action, it's just like a pump shotgun. Whereas you have two sliding action bars here, just like on say, on an 870 pump shotgun, and that's what works your action. The very same thing. And of course, when you push the slide forward, it will load and chamber a cartridge. This is a very nice gun. Appears to have very little use, very little wear. The good folks at Britton's have loaned us this for testing. But incidentally, Britton's does have a new store. It's out on Hollywood in Shreveport. If you're coming through Shreveport, it's not that hard to find. You get off on the Mansfield Road exit and go south to Hollywood, right there on the right. And they would certainly be glad for any of our viewers to come by at any time. One, you may really find some bargains. They have tremendous stock, firearms, and ammunition. Plus, they're just very, very nice people that we're glad to see. Anyway, the 760, the reason there is a pump action whereas versus a semi-automatic, one, some people are used to a pump shotgun, and it gives them a rifle that they're familiar with how the gun works. They get to stay in the same rhythm of shooting. And two, there are some areas in the country that do not allow hunting, and I believe Pennsylvania is one of them. They don't allow hunting with a semi-automatic rifle. With a pump, you get just about comparable speed as far as follow-up or repeat shots with a pump gun as with a semi-automatic. You know, in many tests we've run on multiple targets, a pump type shotgun tends to be just as fast on multiple targets with any sort of powerful ammunition from 12 shot up as a semi-automatic, again for aim shots. Now, yes, you can pull the trigger faster because it takes your finger less time to move this far than it does your hand to move this far. But it's not as great a difference as some of us might think. Well, this is really nice gun. It's fitted with one of the Tactimair decelerator recoil pads, which this is really a neat thing that Tactimair has come with. I believe that's who makes it. And it really does cut down. It's a very soft recoil pad. And on a harder kicking rifle now, 30-06 to me is not a really hard kicking rifle and a rifle of medium or reasonable weight. But you get down to some of the light weights and it starts to stomp you pretty good on your shoulder. But the decelerator is really a nice feature. Well, let's take a couple of shots of this gun. Let you watch it in my hands as compared to the 742 semi-automatic. And watch and see if you can tell the difference in recoil. Load our gun. It also has the same type of safety, push button safety as on the 742 gun. Let's take a shot or two with it. See what you think. See, friends, especially with this decelerator recoil pad, I just didn't notice a lot of rover rides. It was very easy to stay on my target out here. Well, let's try the same drill. Go ahead and unload our gun. Take the magazine out. Of course, you have a detachable magazine. It's a 4-round magazine, this particular gun. Go ahead and throw our empty full out there. Let's try the same drill, just let it ratchet with our 742. And now this particular 742 does not have a recoil pad, but typically the action, the recoil impulse on a gas-operated semi-automatic rifle is spread out over a longer period of time, say than with a bolt action or some other action type like this pump gun. So let's just see what it looks like in my hands today. Remember, on the semi-automatics, you've got to pull that slide the bolt all the way to the rear and let it go. Don't let it ease forward. You've got to let the spring do its job. All right, let's take a look. being released right here. Of course, this gun's been built up. I'm sure had a scope on it here on the pedal. But here is your slide action, very similar to a shotgun. Heavy slide release right here. Of course, this is what works the action. Of course, this is a little plastic dust cover here. You can see the rotary bolt. Now, you don't have the camming action with a gun of this type that you would have with a bolt action. So the recommendation is that you need, when reloading for this rifle type as well as the semi-automatics, to use the small base dies. And also, you don't run to maximum loads in the reloading manuals like you can on, say, some of the better bolt actions. You'll stay with maybe the load under maximum. But these guns are just fine with all factory loads. You know, friends, here in Louisiana, we have a couple of distinct countries, one in the northern part of the state, where we're located here at the Shootin' Show. But a few miles south of here, you get into the southern part of Louisiana, like the Acadian Territory. It is a most interesting culture, a lot of very fine, interesting people. In fact, you might as well be 1,000 miles away from here as far as the distance in country. So a good friend of mine has written a book a while back called Taking Tales of the Louisiana Bayou. This one, Ray Robinson, a very fine writer, and you have a collection of stories out of the bayou. And this is a book I think a lot of you would really enjoy. And it's available for only $6 from Cypress Publishers, 140 Bayou Blue Podcast, Gray, Louisiana, zip code is 70359. Only $6, Taking Tales of the Louisiana Bayou. If you'd like to know more about this part of the country, especially southern Louisiana, I think a lot of you would really enjoy this book.
Friends, we've run out of time with this program. Speaker, and we'll come back to it on our next program. Incidentally, if you would like to advertise on the Shootin' Show, you can call us at 1-800-SAVE-YOUR-GUN. That's 1-800-728-8486. Our staff would be very happy to talk to you.